station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
You're watching DC News Now at 9.
And coming up tonight, former President Donald Trump scheduled to arrive here in Washington in just hours.
Making a court appearance like no other.
This is the most important indictment in the history of the United States.
The courthouse just blocks from the U.S. Capitol, a building hundreds stormed, an attack fueled by the former president's baseless claims the election was stolen from him. We're live tonight with how D.C. is preparing for his return.
And on the eve of Trump's arraignment in D.C., a security scare on Capitol Hill. How law enforcement says they're staying prepared.
And good evening, everyone. I'm Chief Meteorologist Janessa Webb. We're looking at lovely conditions across the DMV, but we are tracking a few storms for your Thursday. We'll time things out coming up.
Good evening, and thank you so much for joining us tonight for DC News Now at 9. I'm Tasmin Mahfouz.
Hi, everybody. I'm Chris Flanagan. Tomorrow marks a historic day in U.S. history. Former President Donald Trump will appear in federal court to face yet another indictment by a grand jury.
Now, Washington correspondent Raquel Martin has a look at what we can expect.
The former president is expected to plead not guilty when he appears in front of a federal judge on Thursday. He's facing 4 felony counts from the Department of Justice. The indictment alleges that the former president intentionally spread lies as a part of a conspiracy to remain in office even after losing the 2020 election.
Probably the most important criminal case in the history of the country.
On Thursday, former President Donald Trump will appear in federal court to face charges for his alleged efforts to overturn the 2020 election results. Paul Schiff-Berman, a law professor at George Washington University, says the Department of Justice's 45-page indictment lays out a clear case.
This indictment is a conspiracy not just to lie, but to develop a whole slate of electors, to change the outcome of a democratic election.
Trump's legal team says the former president was only following the advice of legal advisors.
They impeach me, they indict me.
Trump and his allies, like Alabama Republican Senator Tommy Tuberville, say the charges are meant to undermine Trump's current bid for the White House.
They need to leave President Trump alone, let him run.
But not every Republican is running to Trump's defense.
I hoped it wouldn't come to this.
Wednesday, his former VP and now presidential rival Mike Pence said Trump put his own interest ahead of the Constitution.
Sadly, the president was surrounded by a group of crackpot lawyers that kept telling him what his itching ears wanted to hear.
To win their case, the prosecution will need to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that Trump knew he lost and still pursued his strategy.
A delusional belief is unlikely to be a persuasive defense to the jury.
And if found guilty, Berman says Trump could face up to 15 years in federal prison. For Now in Washington, Raquel Martin, back to you.
Well, the former president is expected to appear at the federal courthouse at 4 p.m. tomorrow.
Yeah, and that's where our Marielle Carbone joins us live tonight. And Marielle, you spoke to a person who was at the Capitol on January 6th.
And Marielle, she says it's a terrifying day for her.
Yeah, it really was, which is why security is top of mind for a lot of people going into tomorrow. Listen, the events that led up to this indictment, January 6th, is still very fresh for a lot of locals here in D.C. who are in the Capitol Hill area. So the question, could this happen again, is certainly out there.
All right, obviously having some technical difficulties with their Marielle Carbone there. Meanwhile, sirens and evacuations on Capitol Hill today as Capitol Police respond to that call about an active shooter inside the Hart Senate office building. And police now believe it may have been a bogus call. More than 200 officers responded within seconds. Happened around 2:30 this afternoon. They cleared all 3 buildings floor by floor. Senate staff sheltered in place while officers went door to door, allowing people to leave but not enter.
We were told to stay there until they got further instructions. And about 25 minutes later, a Capitol Hill policeman came in and basically said, okay, you can leave now, but go out single file with your arms raised, and we'll get you out of here.
All right, so about 4 o'clock this afternoon, the buildings had been evacuated. Staffers were allowed to return inside when nothing suspicious turned up. Police have not yet been able to make contact again with that initial caller. All right, not a bad Wednesday night. Let's get a first check on the forecast with Chief Meteorologist Janessa Webb.
And Janessa, it's looking muggier but warmer tomorrow.
Yeah, we have a warm front. It's coming in from the south and going to lift to the north and east. And so really it's allowing for some partial clearing at this hour. The haze has shifted into West Virginia. And so we're looking pretty good right now. Mostly cloudy skies, temperatures at about 76 across most of the region. It is slightly cooler well to our west. There's that high that has really been making us happy for the last couple of days. But there's our next approaching storm system coming out of Louisville, the upper Tennessee Valley. You can see kind of that green. It's going to stretch across the East Coast, allowing for wet weather to return as we go into your Thursday. Temperatures across the area, 76 for the district. The farther you go into Quantico, Culpeper, into the upper 60s to lower 70s. I know last night a very cool air mass that was in place. Tonight things are going to get a little bit warmer here. We'll go partly cloudy throughout your overnight into the start of your morning, but we are tracking in that rain and a few storms for the next couple of days. We'll look at that extended forecast in a moment.
All right, Janessa, thanks. And once again, President Trump expected to be here in D.C. tomorrow, appear at the federal courthouse at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Once again, we go back to our Mariel Carbone joining us live tonight.
Yeah, and Mariel, you were just telling us about a traumatic experience that someone had back on January 6th.
Yeah, and this lady said it was terrifying for her.
It was, and it was that way for a lot of people that were out here in D.C. locally who live and have to see the Capitol every day, which is why security is really top of mind. This is all fresh for them, and they still have that question. Could what happened on January 6th happen again?
I did not expect what happened.
Patricia Yino is no newcomer to protesting, but what she saw on January 6, 2021 as a counter-protester outside the Capitol is something she'll never forget.
It was one of the most intense experiences of my life. I was, to be quite frank, scared.
People scaling the building, busting down doors and through windows.
Then I saw how these groups started getting angrier and angrier. It's something that is on my mind quite a lot because I'm afraid that this is going to happen again.
Law enforcement agencies are working to make sure it doesn't.
We're prepared for
U.S. Capitol Police Chief Thomas Manger says a security plan is in place for Thursday, when the former president will make his first appearance in a D.C. federal courthouse. This all comes on the heels of a bogus active shooter call that sent 3 Senate buildings into lockdown Wednesday afternoon.
so far nothing. We found nothing.
Meanwhile, the Metropolitan Police Department says it's working closely with our federal law enforcement partners to monitor the situation and plan accordingly.
Most definitely have as many Capitol Police officers out as possible.
Eno is hopeful without a public push by Trump to show up, Thursday will be tamer, but she'd appreciate any added reinforcement from police. And Capitol Police didn't go into detail for their exact security plans, but just driving over here in the last half an hour, we saw the trucks lined up with fencing that could potentially go up. And Secret Service also warning that there could be impacts to traffic in and around the courthouse tomorrow. So something to be aware of if you're planning to be in this area. Reporting live downtown, I'm Mariel Carbone, DC News Now.
Mariel, thank you. And new tonight, College Park, Maryland's former mayor pleads guilty to 140 counts of child pornography. Patrick Wollion was arrested and charged back in March after resigning from his position as mayor. Now, Wollion took a plea deal and will serve a 30-year sentence. Some College Park residents told us, though, that's not enough. Our reporter Yamari Sase spoke to them about how they feel about this.
Former College Park Mayor Patrick Wollion is facing 150 years, but he may only have to serve 30 years. But if he gets in trouble and gets out, he will have to go back and serve that remaining 120 years. Now, several people in the College Park area tell me that in this disturbing case, a plea deal is a way out.
How are you a leader in position of power charged with that much and that horrible thing?
Former College Park Mayor Patrick Wollion pleaded guilty to all 140 child pornography charges, which include counts of possession, distribution, and intent to distribute. Although he's facing 150 years, he may only have to serve 30 years.
A plea deal is just another way to get out, just trying to take as little jail time as humanly possible.
Wollion resigned as mayor of College Park back in March, right before he was arrested. The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children notified Prince George's County Police that they suspected someone in the county was distributing child porn. After further investigation, police discovered Woyan was using a Kik account to send dozens of child porn videos. Police also found several devices with more videos.
It's honestly not fair to the people, the children that's been affected by this, because he's supporting such a horrible black market of child, endangerment and pornography.
In a statement, the Prince George's County State's Attorney Aisha Braveboy described these crimes as horrendous. In part, she says, as a former elected official, the College Park community put its faith and support in him to serve each resident. Instead, he let them down in a most disgraceful way. And some residents agree.
And I feel like these charges shouldn't be so taken lightly.
Woyan's sentencing is scheduled for November. Reporting in College Park, Maryland, I'm Yamari Sase, DC News Now.
Well, meanwhile, all developing now at 9, a Georgia man is suspected of drunk driving in a wrong-way crash. He killed a Pennsylvania mother and injured 9 others on the Beltway last night. Maryland State Police say that driver, Jaylene Hanor, hit 2 cars in the outer loop in Montgomery County. Elizabeth Velez, who was driving one of those cars, was killed. Her 3 children, ages 2, 5, and 15, were taken to the hospital, as well as an adult in the passenger seat. 5 adults in the second car were also transported after the crash. Police say the Georgia man ran out of his Mercedes toward Connecticut Avenue. He was arrested a short time later, now facing multiple charges.
And happening now in Virginia, Spotsylvania County Public Schools has been hard at work preparing for the first day of school. So take a look. Major bus maintenance is happening now, including washing, inspections, and repairs. New drivers are also being trained, and returning drivers are gearing up to get behind the wheel again. Kids go back to the classroom 1 week from today on August 9th.
All right, well, listen to this. USA Today naming Nationals Park as a finalist for the best stadium food in the entire country. Aside from the ballpark staples, Nats Park also serves some regional favorites like Ben's Chili Bowl and Roaming Rooster. Orioles Park in Camden Yards also nominated. Right now, Citi Field in Queens, that's the home of the New York Mets, has the most votes. The winner will be announced later this month. Can't go wrong with Ben's Chili at the ball game, right?
Love that. Yeah, and the lobster roll at Orioles Park is amazing too, by the way.
Yeah, no doubt. All very good. We love that.
Yeah, we got to go to a game now.